this Tuesday on Fox.
Stephen Dorff stars as the hero no one saw coming. The series premiere of Deputy is tomorrow night.
I'm tracking our first storm of 2020, what you can expect as we head into the overnight hours, all in my forecast.
Snow expected across the state of Utah tonight. I'm Brian Schnee in the Nissan Weather Beast with a look at road conditions coming up.
2 Idaho children are still missing and their parents on the run and refusing to help police.
I think that Chad Dable is hiding and not cooperating for a reason.
Tonight we look at why nobody has been arrested yet.
Remains found decades ago matched to a wanted man.
The fact that the man's head was never recovered, I mean, that's key to him probably never getting identified.
What makes this match so unlikely and its impact on the future of forensics.
More issues when it comes to vaping. We're going to tell you about the proposed rules from the Utah Department of Health and how vaping owners feel about it coming up.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
First on Fox 13, we're almost done with the first day of a new year, and it's ending like this. This is a live look from the Fox 13 Nissan Weather Beast. Just shows one area of snowy weather that people are seeing in the Beehive State.
Yeah, snow lightly falling down in that area. So the big question is, will the snow continue for the rest of the week? We're going to check in with meteorologist Allison Krogan with our first alert forecast.
Yes, hi everyone. We're looking at about 8 inches of snow so far for the Cottonwoods, for the Alta area. Powder Mountain, half a foot of snow. We've got some more snow in the forecast for Brighton, 6 inches of snow. Alpine, 5.5 inches of snow over the last 24 hours. Snow Basin, 5. Provo, BYU area, 3.3, and for Salt Lake City at the airport, 1.5 inches of snow, but we have had some locations across Salt Lake City reporting more than 2 inches of snow today. But we've got this warm air mass, so the snow that we saw this afternoon with round 2, after we had that lull late this morning, we ended up seeing some of that rain coming down because of the warm air mass, or we saw that snow coming down, and we ended up seeing that coming down in the form of rain or the snow melting very quickly, not quite sticking to the ground. But for right now, 37 degrees here in Salt Lake, and we've got that snow even all the way down to southern Utah. Let's go ahead and zoom in for some areas so you can see a better idea of what's going on. Mountain passes will be slick. Still have some snow coming down towards the Oakers. Across southern Utah down towards Cedar City, we've got a mixture of some rain and snow. And then once you get towards Utah's Dixie, that's coming down as a mixture of that rain and snow. Mostly rain though. Really cool, want to tell you guys, and we've had a couple of reports of thunder snow. Got some lightning that came down near the Parowan and Bryan Head areas about a half hour ago. So that's really cool. It's pretty rare. We do have winter weather advisories for southern Utah in effect till 11. Winter storm warnings for northern Utah set to expire at 11. Cool temperatures, more chances for snow tonight. We'll talk more about that coming up in my full forecast.
All right, Allison, thanks. Take a look at this, everyone. Traffic conditions right now. There are a few accidents there on our traffic map, but a lot of green. That indicates relatively normal speed limits based on the conditions outside right now. We do have inclement weather, as Allison was just talking about, rain and snow. We do know southwestern Wyoming is also getting hit hard by snow tonight. WYDOT reports that a large portion of eastbound I-80 just past Evanston will be closed throughout the overnight hours.
Now the Fox 13 Nissan Weather Beast is braving the elements right now. Let's check in with Brian Schnee. Brian, where are you? There in Parley's Canyon, I guess. And how's it looking where you are?
Yeah, Bob and Kelly heading back down the canyon, back towards the Salt Lake Valley right now. I'll give you a look. We've actually seen a couple of fleets of plow trucks going both eastbound and westbound. They were just coming the other direction, back towards Parley's summit a few moments ago. Some bursts of some heavy snow, wintry mix as well here in Parley's Canyon on I-80, and the speed limit reduced to 55. Now, of course, those Cottonwood canyons as well, as Allison mentioned, getting a lot of snow, upwards of maybe even 8 inches or so in some of those spots. So the chain restrictions, the 4x4 laws are still in place over in Big and Little Cottonwood Canyon. So take it easy in some of those areas. We'll keep you updated here as we keep cruising in the Nissan Weather Beast with some of these inclement weather conditions that we're seeing out and about. For now, we're live in the Nissan Weather Beast. Brian Schnee, Fox 13 News, Utah.
All right, Brian, take it easy out there. Police are trying to remain hopeful tonight that they will find 2 missing children from Rexburg, Idaho, alive.
Investigators believe 7-year-old Joshua Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan are in danger, but their parents are not cooperating.
Fox 13's Adam Herbetz joins us with an explanation from an attorney about why the parents have not been arrested. Adam.
Yeah, Bob Kelly, police are continuing to say that the runaway parents, Lori Vallow and her new husband, Chad Daybell, are persons of interest, not suspects and not criminals, even though attorneys we've spoken to say there is probably enough proof today to make an arrest if police wanted to go down that route.
Tammy Daybell is now back in Springville, Utah, buried now for the second time at what was supposed to be her final resting place. At first, medical examiners thought she died of natural causes at the age of 49, but since then her body was exhumed for further testing. Her death now considered potentially suspicious because of the actions of her husband, Chad Daybell, who got married about 2 weeks later and lied about the location of his new missing stepchildren.
The mother said that her daughter had died a year earlier, which was clearly not true.
Greg Skordas is a defense attorney and former prosecutor not involved in this case. He says he's worried. Since September, nobody has seen Lori Vallow's two missing kids alive.
Hopefully we will, but it seems more and more doubtful every day.
Officers believe the children's lives are in serious danger, and their mom refuses to talk.
I know a lot of people are frustrated. They might say, well, if she's not cooperating, that's a crime all by itself. It absolutely is, but it's not the crime that these agencies are trying to solve. It's a difficult case for a prosecutor to file a homicide charge without a dead body, but it's not impossible.
Family members tell Fox 13 Lori has changed drastically since before her brother shot and killed her former husband last July. They think she joined a cult with her new husband, known for writing religious books about the end of the world.
Maybe he even prophesized about something like this. We've had similar cases like the Josh Powell case, where I think the police were waiting for him to do something foolish.
Now he thinks police might be waiting for Tammy's autopsy to come back as early as this month before filing charges. Otherwise, if they cannot find Joshua or Tylee, they will have to make a decision on whether there is enough proof to make an arrest.
If they can establish that she died as a result of homicide, that really raises the bar for the prosecutor.
That attorney says another thing both he and the police are hoping for is that Lori Vallow changes her mind, that at her core, she is still the mother of these children, and she shares with investigators whatever it is that she knows. If you have any information about this case, please call the FBI or the Rexburg Police Department. Live in studio, Adam Herbetz, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Adam, thank you. A Utah Highway Patrol trooper was in his vehicle when it was hit this afternoon while investigating a crash in Provo Canyon. Corporal Justin Cloward responded to an SUV that had slid off the road and was upside down in the Provo River. You see it there. A vehicle struck Corporal Cloward's vehicle from behind as he sat in it. He and the driver of the SUV were treated for minor injuries.
New at 9, take a look at this incredible picture tweeted out by Payson Fire and Rescue. Man, that's a car in those flames. It went up in those flames on I-15 today in the southbound outside lane by mile marker 253. Thankfully, no injuries were reported.
We have an update to a story we brought you earlier tonight. Police say a Salt Lake City man has been arrested on DUI charges after being involved in a crash that killed a woman today. Police say it happened at 27th South 3rd West in South Salt Lake. 46-year-old Wilanja Lusungu was sent to the hospital in critical condition, but has since been booked into jail. Investigators have identified the woman killed and will release her identity once her family members are notified.
A driver who crashed into a semi-truck this morning is truly lucky to be alive. Check out this video. The car lost control on snowy roads in the area of California Avenue and I-215. Look at this. The car ended up underneath the semi-trailer and the driver's side area was completely smashed. Hard to believe somebody survived this. UHP Corporal Colton Freckleton says the crash did look a lot worse than it actually was. Gosh, I would say so. Again, no injuries.
There are new details tonight regarding a murder in the parking lot of the Olympic Oval in Kearns back in 2017. Prosecutors have now charged 4 people in connection with this case. Court documents link Carson Odell, Israel Ramirez Torres, Anthony Knight, and Angel Fernandez with the death of 20-year-old Joshua Bellens. Investigators accuse Odell of firing the fatal shot during a botched robbery. All 4 men face murder and robbery charges, which have the potential for life sentences if convicted.
New tonight, a California man is dead after a skiing accident at Park City Mountain Resort yesterday on New Year's Eve. TMZ reports the victim is this man, 20-year-old Charlie Noxon from Sherman Oaks. Charlie is the oldest son of TV producer Genji Kohan, who's the creator of the hit TV shows Weeds and Orange is the New Black. TMZ also reporting Charlie was in Park City with his dad and 2 siblings when he crashed and fell on a trail near Canyons Village. No other details surrounding Noxon's death have yet been released.
Coming up on Fox 13 News at 9.
There's been a major breakthrough in an archaeological discovery made decades ago in Idaho.
This changes everything for forensics, law enforcement, American history.
What researchers have learned about the Utah ties this John Doe has and the history behind his life.
And it's been 20 years since the birth of Utah's Millennium Baby.
The excitement of it every year is something that you never forget.
Now she's all grown up. We'll have an update on her life now, coming up.
There you go. This is what the Dream Team's all about.
In the new year, check off resolutions with Last Man Standing.
Your mom says we don't see enough of you girls. Now get out, I'm busy.
You have had 2 great loves, the outdoors and classic cars.
You're a solid number 3.
Last Man Standing, 1-hour premiere, Thursday on Fox.
The calendar is turning on 2019. It's time for Murdoch Hyundai's Deal of the Decade sales event. Before this decade ends, take advantage of 0% for 72 months on Tucson and Santa Fe. You've got to come and see us at Murdoch Hyundai in Logan, Linden, and Murray.
In one of history's most catastrophic events, day turned to night as fire and ash fell from the sky. But what nature destroyed, it also preserved. Discover Pompeii, the exhibition.
Now open at the Leonardo. Get your tickets today.
Surprise! A new Buick? For me?
To James from James. That's just what I wanted.
Is this a new Buick? I Secret Santed myself. I shouldn't have. I have been very good this year. I love it. I love it.
Don't forget you this holiday season. Get an SUV from Buick. Current eligible lessees get this low mileage lease on this 2019 Buick Encore for around $241 per month.
See your Utah Buick dealers.
Yes, I still had to get better on my own, but I didn't really have to worry about the police reports. I didn't have to worry about the insurance. It was all stuff that they took care of for me, so I would definitely recommend them just based on the fact that I truly felt like family.
Time is running out on 2019. Don't miss out on the Deal of the Decade sales event going on now. Right now, take up to $8,000 off a new 2019 Sonata Limited, or purchase a Sonata for only $17,770. You've got to come and see us at Murdoch Hyundai.
Is Phil ready for a wild ride?
It's gonna be a great year!
Modern Family, tonight at 10:05 on Fox 13. You're watching Fox 13 News. Let's connect.
Tonight we're learning more about how scientists identified bones discovered 40 years ago in an Idaho cave.
Turns out the man had significant ties to Utah. Fox 13's Brian Schnee spoke exclusively with anthropologists, also members of the DNA Doe Project, about their remarkable conclusion.
This case was made all the way to the Smithsonian in 1991. Still no identification even from those folks.
For decades, so many have tried.
We've taken this revolutionary new field and leveled it up again by doing something of a historic nature.
History has been made in the world of forensics.
The fact that the man's head was never recovered, I mean, that's key to him probably never getting identified.
Human remains were recovered in the Civil Defense Caves in Clark County, Idaho in 1979, and more were found in 1991.
He was not going to get identified through traditional forensic methods.
So that's where the DNA Doe Project stepped in.
We came to his ID in about 15 weeks, but that was after hundreds of other people from law enforcement, anthropologists, coroners, search teams all tried their hand at it.
No one had used forensic genealogy.
We found exactly the right person who was the paternal line who had that Y DNA, the maternal line that had the X, and then we had to just figure out which one of those children ended up in that cave.
After DNA Doe Project volunteers exhausted 2,000 hours of research and nearly 30,000 possible matches, a DNA test with a living grandchild confirmed the identity.
So many cases have been solved now using forensic genealogy that are 40 years old, really. So a 103-year-old case, that's mind-blowing. I don't think there would have been any other way to do that.
The headless remains were identified as Joseph Henry Loveless. He was born in Payson, Utah in 1870, but eventually moved to Idaho. He had been incarcerated numerous times, used false names numerous times, and escaped custody numerous times. It's believed he killed his wife with an axe, was arrested under a false name, escaped jail by sawing through the bars, and was never seen again. Research suggests he died in 1916. With so many answers uncovered, who killed Joseph Henry Loveless? In Salt Lake City, Brian Schnee, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The DNA Doe Project is working on numerous active cases involving descendants from Utah pioneers. To learn how you could submit your DNA test to the project and research, just head on over to our website, fox13now.com.
Well, 20 years ago, a baby named Brinley was born 1 second after midnight, making her Utah's first child born in the new millennium.
Yeah, in the year 2000. It didn't seem that long ago, does it? When you think back.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, Fox 13 actually spent the first day of the year 2000 in the hospital with Brinley's parents, and now we're hearing from Brinley, all grown up herself. Fox 13's Erin Cox caught up with her.
It's funny to think about it now, but back in 2000, there was some speculation the world was going to end right after the 12th stroke of midnight. January 1st, 2000 was a new year, a new millennium, and for Brinley Shepard, it was her birthday.
They just tell me about all the hustle and bustle. Next thing they knew, I was there on January 1st.
Born half a second past midnight, January 1st, 2000, Brinley Millennia Shepard was named the first baby of the millennium for Utah.
I've never actually put it together that my middle name was Millennia, and people probably think I'm millennial.
Never in our wildest dreams did we think that we would actually be there.
Natalie Maxfield was due January 1st, but nurses told her they were not inducing anyone that day.
I think a lot of companies, because of the Y2K, they didn't know if computers were gonna, be shut down right at midnight. I mean, we were a little nervous even having her as the millennium baby, because I was thinking, does that mean all the equipment's going to go down right at midnight? Am I going to, fill this? Am I going to have a natural birth because of the equipment not working?
Dr. Terry and the nurse pictured here both delivered the first baby of 1980 and 1990. When they asked Maxfield if she wanted to have the millennium baby, Maxfield decided to take the risk.
So we just did the countdown just as everyone else did at midnight, and she was born a half second after midnight. The excitement of it every year is something that you never forget.
We don't want that one.
20 years later, Brinley has graduated high school and has a pharmacy technician license.
I didn't know where I thought I would be at 20, but I like where I am.
Brinley loves boating with her family, and she loves watching football.
Utah all the way. Okay. They're playing on New Year's Eve, so my friends asked what we're doing for my birthday, and I said watching the Utah game.
It's just hard to believe that 20 years ago, this all happened.
There was a small dispute at the time between hospitals in Salt Lake City about who had the millennium baby. Cameron Dunn, born to Allison and Patrick Dunn, is also considered the Y2K baby. We reached out to the family but have not heard back. In studio, Erin Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Yeah, Yeah, that was a cool story. Hi, everyone. The time right now is 9:19. Current conditions, a live look at our Salt Lake Tribune camera. Roads are a little slick downtown. The timing of the storm ended up being great. Heading home from those parties last night, we had the dry roads, 37 degrees currently for Salt Lake City, and we have some snow coming down across a lot of the state still. Across southern Utah, we're starting to see that snow fill in. Quick moving storm, packed a punch, but we ended up having a fairly warm air mass. So we had that as periods of rain today, or if we had that snow coming down, it didn't stick to the grounds. So as far as how much snowfall that we got, definitely in the lower end of those potential totals. Mountains still have some snow coming down. We will have periods of snow heading into the overnight hours. And if you're going to be heading out and you're hoping to get in some skiing or hiking, and if you're going to be doing any of that in the backcountry, make sure you're checking with Utah Avalanche Center because the conditions today deteriorated very quickly. So we've got snow coming down towards Cedar City, just south of there. Once you get down towards Utah's Dixie, we've got some rain that came through. We've had low visibility at times. Right now, it's not bad down towards Emory into Richfield and Beaver. We still have some winter storm warnings. That's going to be until tonight, 11 p.m. Just now for the mountains. Valleys did expire and were allowed to expire early. And then winter weather advisory for the mountains across southern Utah until 11 o'clock tonight. So top headlines, the air mass was warm, so we had several areas that ended up seeing rain with round 2 this afternoon after that lull this morning. Still some chances for snow tonight, going to taper off in the morning though. We'll have a couple of weak brush-by systems this weekend. The first will impact the Utah-Idaho border on Saturday, so maybe the mountains will see a few flurries, but then we'll have a chance for some more snow as we head into Sunday for maybe some valleys, but not going to be a major storm. Temperatures right now feel like 6 degrees for Evanston, 32 in Wendover, and 30 currently in St. George. Tomorrow in Salt Lake City, we'll end up with daytime highs, we'll call it mid-30s, mostly cloudy, and that snow is going to taper off in the morning. So still might have some flurries, might have some slick spots out there, but all in all, it's not going to be too bad. Sunrise forecast, about 25 to 35 degrees here across the state. And then by tomorrow afternoon, we'll have those temperatures about 30 to 35 degrees for St. George, close to 50. Let's talk about futurecasts heading into the next couple of hours as we still have some chances for snow overnight. I'll have some new snow totals for you in just a moment for how much more we could see, but I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys by tomorrow morning we're really going to be drying out here across the state. We'll maybe have a chance for a few more showers to develop up towards the Idaho border tomorrow afternoon, but we're really not going to have that really bring too much snow left with this storm. For the mountain areas, we could still see several inches of snow piling up. We've had good totals so far up at the resorts, but by Sunday, that's when our next chance for that snow will be as we wrap up the weekend. Okay, how much snow could be possible over the next 24 hours? For the Cottonwoods, we could pick up another 10 to 16 inches of snow for Snow Basin 2 to 4, Park City Mountain 1 to 5, Bountiful 1 to 4, Provo 1 to 4, Salt Lake City 0 to 2, and for Logan 0 to 1 inch of snow. Big winter so far. We've had about 5.5 inches of snow for Alpine. For the Cottonwoods, Alta had about 8 inches of snow so far with some more possible. But for southern Utah, about 50 to 55 over the next week. Keep it dry. And for northern Utah, 35 to 45 degrees. Well, let's not call it 45 because we'll probably only top out about 40 this weekend. So yeah, the storm ended up being just a tad too warm. We saw a lot of that snow or the mixture of the rain and snow not sticking to the ground, but we did have snow waking up this morning.
Yeah.
We sure did.
Enough for Bob to shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the kids too.
Good.
They took their turn after I left for work.
That's why you got to have so many kids.
That's exactly right. That's why we do.
Lots of little helpers.
Lots of little helpers.
Allison, thanks so much.
Still to come, the Vivint Smart Home Arena is filling up with dirt. See more of the preparations for the Monster Jam Triple Threat Series.
Hurry in to Kia's Holiday Sticker Sales Event to get great deals on vehicles backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Hurry in today. Lease a specially tagged 2020 Sportage LX all-wheel drive for $179 a month at Kia's Holiday Sticker Sales Event.
A lot's changed since you were here.
It's called the internet. I'm gonna hit start now, okay? Whoa!
Obamacare is a complete and total disaster.
Let Obamacare implode.
These wild attacks on healthcare hurt the patients I care for. I've been a nurse in New York for 30 years. I know the difference leadership can make because I saw what Mike Bloomberg did as mayor.
Mayor Bloomberg helped lower the number of uninsured by 40%, covering 700,000 more New Yorkers. Life expectancy increased. He helped expand health coverage to 200,000 more kids and upgraded pediatric care. Infant mortality rates dropped to record lows. And as mayor, Mike Bloomberg always championed reproductive health for women.
So when you hear Mike Bloomberg on healthcare,
this is America. We can certainly afford to make sure that everybody that needs to see a doctor can see a doctor. Everybody that needs medicines to stay healthy can get those medicines.
you should know he did it as mayor. He'll get it done as president.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Hurry in to Kia's holiday sticker sales event to get great deals on vehicles backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Hurry in today. Lease a specially tagged 2020 Sportage LX all-wheel drive for $179 a month at Kia's holiday sticker sales event.
As winter conditions arrive,
Tracking Disperse system.
Fox 13 is your first alert source for weather.
We're taking it out to Scott McCain and the Weather Beat.
First with Utah's only all-local morning news.
A foot or two of snow in the northern
First with more on-air newscasts than anyone.
UDOT officials knew
and first in the evening with our primetime news at 9.
Let's go to Fox 13's Kristen Van Dyke.
When severe weather hits,
we're going to have snow showers developing throughout the day.
There's only one place to turn. Fox 13's First Alert Weather. Let's connect. Fox 13's Aaron Cox, part of Utah's #1 news team. This is Fox 13 News.
It was a cold and snowy New Year's Day as the Salt Lake City Mission provided warmth to hundreds. The mission served up hot breakfast and hot lunch to Utahns who are homeless and those who fall under the working poor category. Chartered buses picked up people at the homeless centers and other locations and brought them to the mission to spend New Year's Day.
We provided almost 1,300 meals today and making sure that, again, nobody should be hungry on New Year's Day. Lots of things are closed, so that's why we're open today at Salt Lake City Mission here at Christian Life Center.
Great work being done there. The mission also provided warm clothes and other things to help beat the cold. People were able to go through tables loaded with everything from coats and hats to blankets and sleeping bags.
The Utah Jazz hardwood is gone to make way for this weekend's Monster Jam truck event. That means more than 3.5 million pounds of dirt has been dumped in Vivint Smart Home Arena. It takes 6 to 8 hours to build the track, and once it's finished, trucks with 2,000 horsepower engines will try to conquer it.
We bring in about 1,000 yards of dirt, probably about 70 truckloads that'll come in. We have the dirt here locally that we bring in. We have our expert team here that's going to build this track to the exact specifications that our athletes need to put on a great event this weekend.
The first show is Friday night at 7. There will be 2 shows on Saturday, one at 1 p.m. and the other at 7 p.m.
Coming up after the break.
We're back in the Nissan Weather Beast with snow expected across portions of Utah tonight. I'm Brian Schnee with a look at those road conditions coming up.
The Utah Department of Health put out new proposed rules regulating more vaping and e-cigarette products, and it could have a big impact on small business. We have the story coming up.
And Kyle Whittingham sums up the Ute season following a tough Alamo Bowl.
The guacamole